me, then it don't make sense. You don't make money, then keep it 2 cents. Hating on me, cause the bitch gotta get it, they mad, cause the bank account got 7 digits. I'm a boss, you a secretary. Money coming first, never secondary. Like Montana, ain't never worried. My diamonds cold like February. Everyday basic, can't understand it. That's why they talk shit, cause they can't stand it. Pussy on a pedestal, you can never buy it. Get a little ratchet, but don't even try it. Got my own money, but I love to get it on me. So I put it in the savings and I get the interest on it. If I want it, I can get it. You don't need a co-signer. I got 700 credit, independent, don't forget it. All I do is man, I get this. No toaster. My girls bankroll like Oprah. Paparazzi wanna get a close up, so they always there when I show up. Got a car in the crib and a bag full of chips, so your man always begging for a call and a kiss. Pretty girls working, I know he wish he could move with the job to the boss of the shit. Wanna employ me? How to put him in his place like an employee. Make a little space for your girl to breathe. Inhale, exhale, now back to work. They say my name is a compliment. Bitches mad cause queen so confident. Presidential, y'all just copy it. Go sit your ass down where the lobby is.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Tuesday Night Football Conversation with the boys. We have a new addition to the mix. Instead of your primary two individuals that you're normally used to seeing talk, myself and Peter Lucas, we have an addition to the mix. We are adding Brandon for Forever Faithful Podcast. He's going to be part of our show every Tuesday. So make sure to lock in every Tuesday at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time to watch us three talk about the 49er football. But we're going to be doing this not just on the Niner Sickness podcast, but we're going to do this on all channels. So make sure to follow Peter on his channel. Make sure to follow Brandon on his channel. All the descriptions and channels are in the description below. Welcome, everyone. Let me introduce Peter Lucas, who needs no introductions, to the chat. How you doing, Peter?
What's going on, Beto? Thank you for the kind introduction. Hey, we are riding high off this last victory. We're getting ready for this Thanksgiving for big men like me. Like we trying to get it in at this food table. And then, after get comatose after another 49er victory against the Seahawks.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. And then we got the new addition. Right now, he's on his way home, so we might get a little bit of breakup in his internet. But once he gets home, he'll be okay. We got Brandon in the house. Brandon, you there? Brandon, can you hear us? Brandon's going to get fired before he even gets hired. Brandon. All right. So we'll get back to him. He's walking. We'll get back to him in a minute. He's trying to get home. He went to McDonald's and bought like 50 kids meals.
Happy Meals.
So he can get happy for the show. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started. We're going to do our thing right after this. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Oops, that always messes me up. Welcome back. I'm going to be doing a new intro, hopefully next Tuesday, if not the following Tuesday for sure, with all of our channels. Things are going to be a little bit different, but myself, Peter, and now Brandon adding to the addition, we're always going to be talking to you about the 49er football. We're going to bring you updates. We're going to give you our point of views on how we see the game. It's always nice to see it from different perspective. I may see one thing, Peter might see something different, and you get Brandon to see something different as well. And so you're going to get the perspective from all three of us, and this should be entertaining for you. And then we're going to do towards the end of the show, we're going to do a Q&A. You guys ask questions for either myself, Peter, or Brandon, and we will answer your questions to the best of our ability. Brandon, now that you're actually officially back, I was introducing you, but you were frozen. How you doing, Brandon? Welcome to the podcast with us now going forward.
What's going on, guys? Sorry about that. I just got back home and connected to the Wi-Fi, so that's why I got disconnected. So, but yeah, I'm good. I'm here, ready for tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Thursday night football against the Seahawks. So that'll be fun to watch, especially on Thanksgiving.
Yes, it's going to be fun to watch, man. So let's talk a little bit about the game that just passed, and then we'll break in the game that we'll be playing on Thursday on Thanksgiving. And for those that are watching and tuning in, happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your loved ones and family. So let's talk, and I'm going to open it up with Peter. Let's go ahead and break down a little bit of the Bucs game. What did you like and dislike about that game from your point of view?
So, I mean, it's impossible not to like what Purdy did, right? I mean, a perfect QB
Come
rating.
on now.
I mean, defense, I mean, held them to 14 points. They're now number one in the league or number two in the league in points. So I mean, Wilkes is obviously figuring some things out. He's improving on some things that maybe he was trying to get used to these players. And we had another 4-sack game. I mean, it all good signs going into this short week. I mean, we did have some unfortunate incidents. I mean, losing Hufanga for the year, but Jair kind of stepped in. Jair Brown stepped in and performed admirably. Made some really key plays down the stretch, and so I mean, hopefully he can step in and right where Hufanga left off, and we can just keep it rolling.
You're on mute, bro.
Yeah, I keep doing that because I don't want my birds to be in the background. Thank you for bringing that up. So, guys, Brandon, tell me your. I know we talked a little bit right after the game, but for the sake of this show, what did you see? What did you like and what did you dislike about the game against the Bucs? And I'm going to get your thoughts on Brock Purdy too, for all the haters that are still out there hating. Because if I'm not mistaken, you were a big Trey Lance supporter. But now Brock Purdy has won you over, correct?
Yeah, well, like I told you on Sunday after the game when we went live, never disliked Purdy at all. My only question was how he was going to be come start of the season with his elbow. I also wanted to see Trey Lance, but things happen and Purdy came out and he was looking good. So the fact that he is looking phenomenal so far and looking like MVP candidate for this season. I mean, shit, we're tied with Eagles and Chiefs for Super Bowl odds, so that should tell you something there as well. This game, there wasn't anything not to like besides Hufanga getting hurt. Everybody looked great in all three phases, and it was a fun time to watch. Just like we talked about again on Sunday, Beto, this offense is really fun to watch now. So that's another thing. So yeah.
I'm in mute again. Awesome, guys. Listen, let me go ahead and just start welcoming everybody in the chat real fast. Give them the proper air horn or royalty entrance. I like to acknowledge, because I'm a firm believer, and I believe you guys would agree with me, that we love to do what we do, come on here, do our podcast, but without the viewers, it'll just me, Peter, and Brandon just hanging out. So you guys are the true MVP of the show each and every time. So let me go ahead and acknowledge VZ. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. 408. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. We got Jimmy PS in the house. What's up, Jimmy? We got my boy, the Shaw Show. Ancho, how you doing, brother? We got Daniel Burry Sports Highlights in La Casa. What's up, brother? We got Daniel Cantu in the house. What's up? What's up? We got Ismael Ortiz in La Casa. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We got my boy, my brother from my different mother, Rick Diaz. What's up, brother? We got royalty in the house. East Coast Red and Gold podcast, Jess. For those that don't understand what I do, the air horn is always for the gentlemen, and the royalty entrance is always for the ladies that are in the chat, so that you guys are aware why I do what I do. Always give the ladies a special treatment, because we all need them.
Yeah, for sure.
Rick Diaz says, "What's going on, Peter? Let's go Niners. Are you guys ready for Thursday night game?" I'm ready to run. I'm ready to run towards the turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Ismail, I got Ismail. Let me go ahead. Dina Harvey in the house. Royalty. My girl Dina. Welcome. Let me, before I start answering questions or comments, let me go ahead and make sure I acknowledge everyone. We got John in the house viewing. How you doing, John? We got, let's see here, Eddie Woods in the house. What's up, Eddie Woods? Good to see you. What do we got here? All right, so that's it for now. All right, guys, so I will be looking at the comments, bringing up comment now. I'm going to be clear real quick. I may not always bring everybody's comment on here. I'll bring the ones that I feel that are interesting to bring up. So don't feel left out or he don't love me and so forth. I try to get engaged, especially when we have two other gentlemen on the podcast. It's harder to look at the comments as I would normally do when I'm doing solo show. This show Tuesday nights, every Tuesday at 6:30. It was always me and Peter. We're not bringing Brandon into the mix. It'll be always. As long as we are available. Things happen, people get sick, people are busy. So it's always nice to have three, because if one can't make it, at least there's two that can do the show and so forth. But every Tuesday, we're going to try to bring you a show at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time for your entertainment and information. So we beat the Bucs 27-14. It should have been 27-7, but unfortunately, for those that are already heard, and if you haven't heard, Tana Hufanga suffered an ACL injury, non-contact, and now is ruled out for the rest of the season. So prayers and healing send his way to his family. Let's show our love for our safety back there. And as Peter mentioned earlier, Jair Brown from Penn State was brought in. He was drafted. He was the first draft pick of the 49ers last year in the third round. We didn't have a first or a second, so we took Jair with our first pick. He was been developing under Gibson and Hufanga. And for what I've been hearing and reading, he's been looking good in practices and so forth. But because you had Talanoa and you had Gibson, there was really no need to kind of bring in Jair Brown. Now, sometimes because of injuries, and it's unfortunate for Hufanga, but this is a door that is now open for Jair Brown. And this is a league that when the door opens, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. And when he first came in and relief of Hufanga, they went at him. And they went, and he kind of didn't he didn't backpedal. He kind of got like the only way I can think about it is like getting stuck in quicksand. He didn't move, and a 41-yard pass was thrown over his head, and he just got blown on that. But did he crawl and go into a little hiding shell and look like, oh, I can't do this? Or did he step up? In my opinion, the kid stepped up. He had some great blocks. And then to end the game, he had an interception. He showed a little bit of life. Peter, and then I'll ask Brandon, what did you like about Jair Brown? And do you think this kid, because he looks like he got better the more he was playing in that game, do you think this kid, with now the opportunity to play for the rest of the year, will benefit him and get him and help us this year, but get him really good for next year when it will probably be him and Hufanga as the starters? What are your thoughts on Jair Brown, Peter? And then Brandon, you'll be next.
I mean, initially I was kind of scared because he got burnt, and honestly, the pass breakup, he got burnt on that one too. If Baker Mayfield hadn't gotten hit when he was thrown, it might have been a different result. But but still, the fact that he was even in the play to make that pass breakup and then to get a pick, even though it wasn't at him, it was off a deflection. It's it looked good. And then I'm hearing from other people that the tape guys of the 49ers, they're all saying that he was in pretty good position throughout the his snaps after he came in. So I'm pleasantly not surprised, but I like the fact that he's coming in ready, and it's only the time the extra snaps are only he's going to get better as he gets more snaps. Most players do, and yeah, I think that I would love to have our all-pro guy in Hufanga out there, but it's nice to know that Jair Brown is willing to step up if needed.
What about you, Brandon?
I agree with everything what Pete said. He first got in there, and he got beat. I think he had that penalty as well. Come back out that last series, and Jair Brown seals the deal and wins us the game with the interception in the end zone. So like me and Beto were saying on Sunday after the game, the more the guy was playing, he looked better and he looked more comfortable. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table tomorrow. See, I keep thinking tomorrow's Thursday.
You're hungry, that's why.
I'm on vacation, that's why. So everything's all messed up.
You gotta love vacations, bro. I've been on vacation since 2016.
Yep.
It was the last day I worked, bro. So I love it. No, I hear you guys. Listen, I know we're talking about the Buccaneers, and we're gonna move on to the Seahawks. I'm gonna just do this. We're gonna make this show a little bit exciting. We're gonna go on a rant, all three of us, and because I really feel that Brock Purdy doesn't get the love that he deserves. I'm tired of hearing. And I want you guys to bring it. When I give it to you guys, when I give you the microphone, I want you to bring it. I want you to speak how you feel, because I feel that there's a lot of Trey Lance guys out there that wanted Trey Lance, I wanted Trey Lance. I was looking forward for Trey Lance to come in and do his thing. I was excited. I was happy that he got drafted by us. He just didn't work out for whatever the reasons are. He didn't work out. And Mr. Irrelevant, pick 262 was taken, and he's just showed us in that Miami game that this guy was the real deal. I understand to be kind of critical in the beginning, like, is this guy the real deal? What about against Tampa, the following when he had to start? Our defense is going to look at tape. Are he going to make the proper adjust? The kid did nothing but win, get better and better and better. The only game he lost last year was the NFC Championship game because he was not able to finish the game due to injury. Then because of that injury, the whole offseason, all we heard is he going to be the same Brock Purdy? Is he going to be worse? Can he come back? Is his career over? All this negativity. And there's a lot, not everyone, but there's a lot of Trey Lance fan base that want to see Brock Purdy fail. It's like, to them, it's more important to be right than for our team to be successful. Like they want to be right. They want to see Brock Purdy fall on his face, eat egg, so they can say, I told you so, that he wasn't good, rather than saying, hey, I'm a Niner fan. I was rooting for Trey, but Brock came in. He's making our team good. I'm going to support him because overall, I carry the Niner logo, not the name on the back of their jersey. So, Peter, I'm going to start with you. So prepare yourself, Brandon, after that. What is it about people? They can't just accept that Brock Purdy is not a mediocre quarterback. He's not just a system quarterback, but he's a quarterback they can adjust and can go off plays and make plays during those times. So I want to get your thoughts, and I want you to lay the wood, bro.
So, I mean, there's a few things here because number one is you've got the people that watch ESPN and Fox News. So you got those people that listen to the Stephen A. Smiths, that listen to the Shannon Sharps, that listen to the Nick Wrights, and honestly, they're swayed by what those guys tell them, like because they're supposed to be experts, and I would say a majority of people want to listen. They just want to listen. They don't want to come up with their own thoughts just from just watching the games, and it's unfortunate, but I like to just watch the games and come up with my own opinions. But when you listen to ESPN's and the Fox Newses, what you're going to get is a bunch of rhetoric, a bunch of nonsense. They're probably not even watching the games. They're just giving a bunch of notes to talk about before they go on air. So I don't entirely fault them, but at the same time, watch the game. Like, I mean, if you're watching the game, then there's no way that you could come away from watching one of Purdy's games and think that he's been any less than spectacular. And even in the losses, like he played well in the majority of those games. Did he have a couple of mistakes? Yes. Does every single quarterback in the league make mistakes, including the Mahomes, including the Herberts, including the Josh Allens? Absolutely, they all do. But I think people hold Purdy to a different standard. They want to confirm their own biases because of the fact that he was picked in the 7th round. So everybody wants to confirm the fact that there's a reason why he was picked in the 7th round. Once the draft is just a way for you to get in the league. I mean the GOAT in Tom Brady was drafted when 6th round.
Yep.
Like it's a lot of great quarterbacks were drafted in later rounds. Was Montana a first rounder? No, he wasn't.
Nope.
Like, I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, there's a lot of great quarterbacks that were not drafted in the first round, and I think that is just a common misconception about the position is that you have to have all of the physical attributes to be a great quarterback. When the reality is it's really about what's up here, making the reads, and inside your offense and executing. And that's what Purdy does, is he executes. Now, yeah, another thing is a lot of people like to give him stuff about having Debo, about having Kittle, about having CMC and all the weapons that the 49ers have. And they take away his credit because he has weapons. Okay, well, did Montana have weapons? Absolutely.
Yes.
Did Steve Young have weapons? Absolutely.
Yes.
Did Jeff Garcia have weapons? Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, people were talking about Cap today. Did Cap have weapons? Absolutely. Like, so there is no quarterback that does historic things without having historic weapons. It's not, and you want to go back and look it up. Look it up. Like, but that's kind of where I'm at with the whole Purdy hate. Is it's just that, a bunch of hate, and like people just want to confirm their own biases, and they didn't think that he could be anything. They want to blame it on he'd be nothing if he went to Jacksonville. Well, he wouldn't be nothing if he went to Jacksonville because their coaching sucks.
Yep.
Like, it just depends on where you're at. Like, do you have a good coach? Do you have a good system? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're at if you don't have things to make you succeed. So It really doesn't, and I think that's really what it comes down to. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I agree. And before I pass it to Brandon, I just want to just make a point that Brandon's a little younger than myself and Pete. I'm the oldest of the group. I've been watching 49er football since 78. I watched 49er football before Joe Montana, before Bill Walsh. I saw when Joe Montana was drafted in the third round from Notre Dame when he sat behind Steve DeBerg, who was the quarterback of the
years.
Niners. For years, exactly. Now, people know. Listen, when people compare things that Brock is doing to Montana, a lot of these young kids, and I don't mean to be offensive when I say kids, but when a lot of the young people that haven't watched or never seen Montana play on live TV tend to get upset. Why are you comparing Brock Purdy to the legend? Why are you comparing Brock Purdy to the Hall of Fame quarterback, the best quarterback ever? Listen, I want to just burst your bubble for a minute. Joe Montana, before he became a 4 Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer, he was a kid that was drafted in the third round. There was a reason why he was drafted in the third and not in the first round. He was taken in the third. A lot of teams passed him up, as they did for Tom Brady. Joe Montana had to be developed into who he was, and everybody now knows because of the history that Joe Montana was who he was. But a guy like myself, Pete, that watched Montana come in, he wasn't the Montana that he was when he retired. He struggled. He turned the ball over. He made mistakes. People were questioning Montana. Jerry Rice, when he came in as a receiver, all he can do is fumble the damn ball. He couldn't catch a cold in the freezer. And people thought he was going to be a bust, and he's arguably the best receiver of all time. My point before I give this to argue, but not arguably, you're absolutely right. He is the best receiver of all time. Before I pass it to Brian, I just want you guys to understand, Brock Purdy is in the process of going through his career. But what he's shown so far in his early career gives us a glimpse of hope that this kid is a special QB. The perfect QR 58.3, the last two quarterbacks to ever do that in 49er history was Joe Montana and Steve Young. That means Garcia didn't do it. That means Kaepernick didn't do it. Alex Smith, all the quarterbacks that went through did not do it. This kid is doing it. We don't know what the future holds. Just like at the time, I did not know Joe Montana was going to be a 4 Super Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback. We got to give this kid a chance to develop and showcase. But I love what I'm seeing today. With that said, Brandon, I want to hear your rant on Brock Purdy. Why are people so much hating on this kid?
It's because of the place that he was drafted in. If this guy was a top draft pick, they'd be saying the complete opposite. It's ridiculous. It's annoying.
That's
And
a good point.
who gives a flying fuck about what these fuckers say? Sorry for the curse words, but it just pisses me off. I watched First Take yesterday, and guess what? Of course, Shannon Sharp. He says he has all these weapons. That's why he's doing so good. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, dude. So did Patrick Mahomes. So does Josh Allen. So does Jalen Hurts. So does Tom Brady when he was playing. So did Peyton Manning. Like, you can name all these quarterbacks that had a bunch of freaking great players around him. Like, that doesn't matter. Let me put it this way, dude. With the numbers that Purdy is putting up right now this season in this season's football, compare Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. I actually sent you a graphic on Twitter if you would like to bring it up or not. Purdy has better numbers than Jalen Hurts. And tell me why he's still not getting talked about on how great he's been playing. Why is he not in the MVP talk like Jalen Hurts is? It's because of these draft picks. This whole so-called where you're drafted at, right? Doesn't matter, like what Pete said. Doesn't matter where you're drafted at. It's just getting into the freaking professional football league. If you perform out there the way Purdy has been doing these past 11 weeks, then you know what? Doesn't matter where you're drafted at. If you're proving that you're doing awesome, then you should be getting the praise that you deserve. And honestly, I think Purdy should be in the MVP talk right now. Point blank.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. And real quick, just to your notation about the graphics on Twitter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a whole situation where whenever you bring stuff like that, articles, or either one of you, I'm going to be set up for the next show where I can be, where we can switch to that scene and we can emphasize either videos, we can emphasize articles. I'm going to be more prepared going forward to make this show more smoothly and informative to our viewers. I just want to comment real quick on Mr. Brown, Ronnie Brown. He says, I've watched football for over 40 years. As I've seen without the superstars on the field, Purdy is mediocre. Let's be honest. And I'm a Niner fan. You guys must look at the first fact. Now, I'll let you guys respond. And here we welcome everybody's opinion. We do. We may not agree with everybody's opinion. We can strongly disagree, but we do welcome everybody's opinion and comments. So thank you, Mr. Brown, for putting your comment up there. I'm just going to say this. The worst game in those three losses without Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel was the Browns game. That was Brock Purdy's worst game of those three losses. And yet this kid was still yes, he was able to bring back the Niners to a field goal for a chance to win. It wasn't Brock Purdy's fault that Jake Moody missed the 41. And a 41 should be automatic for these kickers. All right? It's not like it was a 65 kick. And he brought him close
He missed
enough.
one earlier in the game, too.
Yeah, he missed one earlier. So Brock Purdy did his job. The Vikings, the defense had a part in it, missed tackles. That's not Brock Purdy. The Cincinnati game, missed tackles. Now, the turnovers, yes, he made some mistakes. But the kid is a gunslinger. He's not afraid to put the ball in harm's way. Like that first touchdown against the was it the Bucks, where he threw it to, no, it wasn't the Bucks. I think it was the Jags. Where the first touchdown to Ayuk, where we're like, whoa, he threw across his body. That's definitely a no-no. And I understand that. Even Kyle Shanahan said, never do that again. But I'd rather have a quarterback that does that, improvises, takes a risk, and makes a touchdown than someone that plays too safe like Jimmy and shuts it down or throws the ball away. He gave us, this guy gives us chances to win. Now, every quarterback is going to have his slumps without their key players. Steve Young had Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens. Joe Montana had Steve Young, Brett Jones, John Taylor. He had great play. A lot of quarterbacks have great players. Okay, the one thing that people cannot say is that Brock Purdy. One thing you can't teach, I should say, is the ability to stay calm in the pocket, the ability to process what's going on in the field. I seen quarterbacks with great arm, guys. I seen quarterbacks 6'4", 6'5", look like you. Look at Russell, Russell, the one that went to the Raiders, first pick overall, had all the, but he didn't have it up here. He didn't have the ability to process. That ability to process is where Purdy thrives in. If Purdy was a foot taller or two, he would have went in the first round. This kid is special. Niners. He beat a couple of first rounders, didn't he? Wasn't the guy from the Jags, Lawrence, a first rounder? Wasn't Baker Mayfield a first rounder? First overall? Both of the who won those games?
I think they both were first overall.
Exactly. One to the Browns and one to the Jags. And then and I believe the only one he lost that was the first pick was Joe Burrow. That's the only one. He beat some other ones. So I'm going to give it to Brandon, and I'll give it to Peter. I want your thoughts. I know you were fired up right now when I was talking. To your to reply to Brown that you need key players. Do you think he's mediocre when Trent Williams and Debo's not there.
No, he played phenomenal in those games that they were missing. Uh, it's just our defense didn't look too good as well, and people are going to blame Pretty for that. But it's the defense was struggling those games, but Pretty was putting up numbers still, and I mean, shoot, I think the Vikings game was what? I think he had like 300 and something yards, right?
Yeah, like
Something like that.
370.
Yeah, see, so like you're putting up numbers, but we couldn't win the game. But he still played good in that game, even though we lost. Like it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
all on Pretty. It was defense. It was all three sides. To be honest with you. So I mean, yes, he made stupid mistakes with the interceptions or whatever. But all quarterbacks do. But people are gonna bash on Purdy because he was the last overall pick, and people are getting mad because this last overall pick is doing better than what anybody expected to.
Yep. And before I pass it to Peter, I'm going to give it right to you, brother. This comment from Brown, I just want to read it. It says, let's go back to the Philly in the playoff game. Putting pressure on Purdy, and he will fold. It's way too young to crown him the best to do it. Win is a win. Now, I don't know about my guys, and I don't think they are. Nobody's crowning him anything. We're just acknowledging his abilities. Now, you said putting pressure on Purdy, he will fold. If anybody watched the Monday Night Football, how did Patrick Mahomes, who arguably everybody wants to say he's the best quarterback in the NFL today, and arguably he is, how did he look against that Philadelphia defense when they were all over his face? He folded a few times. Every quarterback
In the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, he didn't even. How many yards did he have in the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
He had like a couple over 200.
yeah.
Like I mean, it was. Yeah. Anyway, like I mean that.
Go for it, bro. Do your rant.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and like I said, right. Like I mean, I get it. Nobody's giving Purdy any excuses for the times when he makes mistakes. He made mistakes. My point is that every single quarterback in this league makes mistakes. Patrick Mahomes makes mistakes. Josh Allen makes mistakes. Herbert makes mistakes. And correct me if I'm wrong, how many quarterbacks have Super Bowls in the league right now? That are in the league right currently? There's two.
Yep.
There's two. And this is the thing. So if you're gonna sit there and say, "Oh well, he hasn't won," okay, so basically you're saying only Mahomes and Matt Stafford, who has proven that I mean he had a good team, but he ain't the great. He's definitely not the GOAT, and because he makes mistakes all the time, he made mistakes throughout their Super Bowl run, and they still got a Super Bowl. Like they still got a Super Bowl. So it proves to you right there that he doesn't have to be perfect. Purdy doesn't have to be perfect. He's got a team behind him that can get him there. He's not supposed to be the end all be all. No quarterback is. It's supposed to be about being a team. And this is the thing. We keep talking about, oh, he's mediocre. Like he's like without his weapons, he's mediocre. Most quarterbacks are. Like I don't understand the need to point out every mistake every quarterback makes. The quarterbacks are gonna make mistakes. They're gonna throw picks. There's no quarterback that has gone through a season without throwing a pick. None. Ever.
Exactly.
And if you go deeper back into those all-time greats, they more often than not they were throwing picks. Like so we need to adjust our expectations. Not just Rodney. We're not picking on you, Rodney. Like I'm talking about, I would say about a lot of NFL fans need to adjust their expectation on what these quarterbacks are actually responsible for. Like because it's not just up to them. Some of these picks bounce off a guy's hands. Some of these mistakes, guys were running the wrong route. Like, I mean, it's not always the quarterback. And sometimes it is. But you know what? No person in this world, no quarterback is perfect. So that like there's my rant.
Exactly. You want to add to that, Brandon?
No, I'm just laughing at what Mr. Brown said in the comment section. Um, he said, listening to you all speak, you all are crowning him based on QBR stat, which we didn't bring up QBR stat at all when we were talking about him. And then he also said, let's win a Super Bowl first. I'm not bashing Purdy. I'm only stating facts.
Okay. So he needs to be the third. He needs to be the third the third quarterback in the league to be okay, to be considered good. Okay.
You know, it's funny. It's funny. I know we're talking about Brock Purdy. We're talking about quarterbacks, but it's funny that a lot of people, always has to associate success with Super Bowl trophies. That is the ultimate goal, is to win a ring. Absolutely. Nobody's arguing, at least not myself. Nobody's arguing that point. A lot of people say, well, Kyle Shanahan is not a good head coach until he wins the Super Bowl. That's asinine. The guy is a great head coach, a great play caller. Andy Reid, before he won his 2 Super Bowls, was an amazing, always been a heck of a head coach, and he went without a Super Bowl for 20 years. Mark Levy, great head coach for the Buffalo Bills, never won a Super Bowl, but he's in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because the guy can coach. So Brock Purdy hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. The Niners haven't won one. And I understand a lot of Niner fans are hungry. They want the 6th Lombardi trophy. We got to be patient. It's a process. There's 32 teams. How many Super Bowls have been won? People think that winning a Super Bowl is like getting up in the morning, stretching, and getting out of bed. It's not that easy. Listen, to someone that is not, I've been paralyzed, I've been disabled for 10 years. I know how it is to be able to jump out of bed, and I know how it is when you can't walk. People get out of bed like that, no problem. They don't think twice about it. When I was in my wheelchair, guess what? I couldn't jump out of bed. I had to take steps to get from point A to point B that I normally wouldn't have done without my disability at the time. My point of saying all that is this. Brock Purdy is heading in the right direction. He gives us great opportunity to win. Have we won one yet? No. We're going to be tested against Philadelphia in Week 13. Right after this game,
Honestly,
we played. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Pete. Jump in there.
Sorry.
Enjoy the process.
No. Don't apologize. Go for it.
All I was gonna say is after watching.
Oh, it was Brandon. Sorry.
Yeah, after watching the Eagles yesterday against the Chiefs, I'm starting not to be too worried as I was in the beginning of the season when we played the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. They are a good team. They are 9-1 for a reason. I don't care who you play in front of you. It's not easy to be 9-1. So I will give the Eagles credit because they deserve it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you win, and I'm not going against what you're saying, but I know I'm heading to your point. I know exactly what you mean, Brandon. They're 9-1, but they're not unbeatable. They're not this super Avengers Philadelphia team that nobody can touch them. They have one loss. Okay, my point being is if anybody can beat the Eagles in Philadelphia are the 49ers with the roster that we have, as long as we're healthy and we execute the way we need to execute on all sides of the ball, special teams, offense, and defense. We got to put pressure, we got to stop the run, and we got to run the ball. But if there's a team, listen, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan took over the team in 2016. We all know how this team was prior to them. It was garbage. It was hard to watch. The Chip Kellys, the Jim Tomsulas, the Mike Nolans, the Mike Singletaries. It was hard to watch football.
Awful.
Until Harbaugh came in, and we got a little taste. And then when we lost Harbaugh, we're like, oh shit, here we go again.
And I mean, it almost got pretty much worse. It always became worse after Harbaugh. So
exactly.
Just enjoy it. Enjoy. What's wrong with enjoying? What is wrong with just enjoying success? Like, I mean, if a guy is putting up number one quarterback in the league numbers, it doesn't matter what the weapons that are around him. Like, you're supposed to celebrate it. I mean, now granted, you can say, well, let's wait and see what we see in the playoffs. But at the same time, I mean, what are we going to say? We're just not going to enjoy the wins?
Come
Like,
on.
enjoy the wins.
Come on, Pete.
Enjoy. Why are we looking a gift horse in the mouth? Like like we're talking about what Philly did to Brock. It was an unfortunate incident. Who cares? It's a new season. It's a new season. We have another chance to do better this time. And now, I mean, Brock is looking really good. And I, for one, am going to enjoy it. I don't care what the reason is that he's playing so well. I don't care if it's because of the weapons. I don't care if it's because Shanny. I don't care if it's because of all three. Like, it's the fact of the matter is the stats are there. They're getting victories. Just enjoy it.
And it's fun to watch them too.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's fun. Listen, I want to win Super Bowl, guys. I do. I want to win the 6th Lombardi Trophy, but I want to be relevant. I don't want to be like the Rams where they put all the chips in the middle of the table. Lucky for them, and things have to go right. Some people don't, and I'm going to mention names, but some people don't believe in luck when it comes to football. There's a lot of luck that is involved in football. The Rams are a perfect example. If Tart didn't drop that ball that was just given to him from the sky, this could have been a different conversation for the Rams. There is a lot of luck involved. If that offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals were not messed up, they would have killed the Rams in that Super Bowl. So luck takes into play. But they won. Now they're suffering. Now they're hurting. Who knows when the Rams are going to get back? My point is this: we did the same thing. We bought our Super Bowl in '94. We brought in a bunch of guys on defense, and we haven't won a Super Bowl since. These guys, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they know how to develop. They know how to draft. Maybe we don't draft very good in the first round.
And they brought in a bunch of guys this year.
And they brought up. But this is the point that I want to make, guys. Listen. Since when Harbaugh took over, he took over a great team that was mismanaged and got to the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. When Kyle Shanahan came in with John, they had this team was shit. They got rid of everybody but 4 players. They completely got rid of the roster. They built the roster from the floor up, and in 3 years, we were in a Super Bowl that we could have won, that we lost in the 4th quarter. People
with
forget
a mediocre
that.
quarterback.
With a mediocre quarterback. People forget about that. And 3 years of Kyle and John, which is Kyle's the first-time head coach, John's the first-time general manager, came in, and 3 years we were in the Super Bowl salary. Cowboys have not even made it to the freaking championship game. Forget the Super Bowl. Teams have not. Detroit is trying to get there. We are so spoiled because
everybody's
of the 5
trying
Super
to
Bowls.
get there.
Yeah, but I think the Niner fans are so spoiled with the 5 Super Bowls. Like we're this, right? And it is hard to get to a Super Bowl.
It's not all Niner fans. It's just a select few that.
True. Okay, I think I stand corrected.
Yeah, you know, it's just a few people that they go overboard, and it's quite frequently the people that have been around for all of the Super Bowl wins and see that they have this sense of expectation that, you know, this expectation of excellence because we're the 49ers. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. There's 32 teams in this league, and all of them won a Super Bowl. They're all trying to build their teams to win one.
Exactly. It's like those same fans that said Jimmy Garoppolo wins us games, right? You know what I'm saying? There's the same ones that are bashing Purdy right now.
Yeah. Listen, football's hard to win. It's hard to win games in the NFL. Okay, it's hard. You know, when we went on a 3-game losing streak, people are ready to give up. Niners, oh my God, Brock Purdy this. The Niners defense this. Fire Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes. This has been running this defense very well. Okay, the whole fact about moving from the booth to the field. See, to me, that was not the adjustment that got us back winning. Okay, anybody that wants to argue with me, let me know, and we'll get into it. Okay. Moving Steve Wilkes from the booth to the field was not the adjustment that made us win 2 games. Moving Isaiah Oliver from the corner spot and moving Lenore in there with a faster ability to cover was the difference of us able to cover more on the backfield. Now, did it hurt having Steve Wilkes in the field? Probably not. He's able to communicate with his guys right in real time, right there
They're
and then.
loving it.
Yeah, so that's not nothing negative, but that's not the reason why we started to play better on defense, because it had nothing to do with Wilkes moving to the field, and now they're tackling better. What does missed tackles have to do with being them in the booth?
Yeah, I think, and also I think having Chase Young on the team helps out a lot too. I think that gave him a boost of confidence as well. Just like how adding McCaffrey last year on the offense gave them that boost as well once McCaffrey was in, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then there's the aspect of that there was a lot of gang tackling. The minute they got back off of the bye, you saw a lot of gang tackling. Before that, guys were getting left on islands, and if they missed the tackle, there was nobody around to make to clean it up. And in that game specifically, this last game we kind of slipped back into the leaving guys on islands a little bit, but it wasn't to the point to where it had been in previous games. But yeah, I think that he made there was more of a schematic difference as far as having guys gang tackle and just kind of everybody flowing to the ball. So I mean, I think that was a huge difference in the game plan as well.
Exactly. I just want to real quick welcome Joe Stevens. He is a good friend of mine. He's a Seattle Seahawks fan. Good luck on Thursday on Thanksgiving, my friend. Let's welcome David Henry. Emerson, how you doing? David, good to see you. Dave.
That's Mr. Super Dave, the OG from Real Talk Niner Talk. So shout out to him. Thanks for
Great
tuning in,
guy.
man.
Shout out to him.
Oh,
Great.
okay.
We got the lovely royalty. We got Laura Cat. How you doing, Laura? Nice to see you in the chat. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out. Truly appreciate it. So listen, guys, we're not. Let's move on now to the Seattle Seahawks. What are 3 keys, Pete, that the Niners have to do, in your opinion, to get a victory on Thanksgiving and sit there and take a bite of turkey at their 50-yard line? What is your thoughts on that? And then I'll ask Brandon the same question.
So 3 things. I would say the first thing is to stop the run.
Okay.
I think that Kenneth Walker got knocked out of last game, so I don't know if he's playing in this game. And
Thank you.
So that's going to be a key aspect of this game, because Geno, their whole offense is predicated around the run and building play action off of that. Their whole passing game is predicated on playing off the run. So Geno having taken a step back this year because they haven't been able to run the ball as well as they had, is a huge aspect, and they haven't found a way to use DK. I think DK is a big thing, and how Charvarius Ward guards him. Charvarius Ward always plays DK well, and that's really Charvarius Ward, Mooney Ward's thing, is playing those bigger receivers. He always excels against the bigger receivers. So I think that that's going to be a huge key to this game. And then the last one is they're playing on a short week in Seattle. And what's the weather going to look like? I'm kind of iffy, because this is the time of year, especially in Seattle, where I'm wondering what the weather's going to be like in that game, because the last time we saw Purdy in bad elements, it didn't look so hot. So that's my last key is this time of year. Every game I'm going to be looking at the weather report.
Real quick, since I have Joe Steven, and he's, like I said, he has his podcast for the Seahawks. If you ever want to know about the enemy, guys, make sure to follow Joe Stevens' podcast if you want to know about the Seahawks.
I said it's sunny and 40.
Yeah, David said Walker will not play. I know he got hurt the previous game against the Rams. Now, I want to ask Steve, who follows the team. Steve, is there any, I don't want to say truth to that, but is that what Dave said? Is that accurate about your running back? Is he not going to play on Thursday, or is he day-to-day basis? Please let us know in the comment just to confirm.
We should have brought him on.
Yeah. Yeah, David Henry says Geno Smith arm is not 100%. I think he has an issue with his elbow. That might be an issue.
I think Gino is questionable.
Yeah, and then Steve.
Oh yeah,
Joe
they did
Steve,
say something about he may not even play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Joe Steve says you all have to run the ball, stop the run, and apply pressure on Geno, and that's something that I think that if the Niners are on their A game, can do. They can definitely stop the run. Now the Niners run stopping ability this year hasn't been great. They're still work in progress, but they're getting better. The addition of like Brandon said, the addition of Chase Young helps out tremendously because he now allows Bosa to get freed up a little bit. He allows Eric Armstead. As you notice, Eric Armstead play has gotten better since the addition of Chase Young.
On fire.
On fire. And that reminds me of the 2019 when Buckner was in that spot and it was D Ford. And Eric was able to step up. We got the crazy speed at the edge rushers. The quarterback runs in the pocket, and guess what? You're going to say hello to my tall friend, Eric Armstead or Hargrave in the middle. Okay, and if they run to the outside, they're going to run into the boys on the outside. So this defense, if they continue to collectively play better and put that pressure with the front four, we should be able to take control of this team. We just got to be careful of those big. The big question mark for Thursday is going to be two things for me. How is Jair Brown going to do? And and I know he hasn't been playing great, but I heard that Spencer Buford is hurt and may not play at guard. Okay, so we're
Aaron
already
Banks
out.
is probably playing though.
Yeah, so hopefully we can move
Banks is probably
Feliciano
playing.
over to maybe we can move Feliciano over to right guard and if Banks comes in. But whenever you have to make adjustments in the offensive line, is not great. Now, with that said, the offensive line has not been great. Not bad. It hasn't been great, but yet Brock Purdy, under all that pressure, is leading in a lot of categories in first place in the NFL. With this offensive line, imagine if we can give him proper protection, what this kid can do.
Yeah. They also signed Ben Barch from the Jaguars.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Bart
They
back.
pushed him out. Yeah, they had to, because they took him off the practice squad of them. They had to sign him to the 53-man roster. And I think the reason why they were able to do that too, because they put Hufanga on the IR. So that was a spot that was available. So it was perfect. Chris Hansen is in the house. Chris, how you doing, sir? Good to see you, my friend. And I just want to real quick say to Ronnie Brown, listen, I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your input. You're making the chat live, man. You're always welcome to come in. I know you said something earlier about bringing you on our show. Not today because of the way we're set up, but if you ever want to come on our show as a guest, I'll talk to my guys. We can make it work as long as we can keep it civil and cordial on a future live. Definitely, but we appreciate you being here. He says it's going to be sunny and 40. Oh, I like that. That's always a good thing. We got Dawn in the house. Rose, my little young sister, a mother of two beautiful girls, Ariel and Jayla. She's an amazing mother. She has two amazing daughters. A husband that it's okay, only way because he's a Raider fan. But I'm pretty sure he's a great father. I gotta give them a little hack with that. Now, Dawn is someone that I met on here. She's been a supportive of my channel on social media. She's a sweet person, man. Thank you for your faithfulness to my channel from day one. Appreciate you. We got, let's see, the Niners need to ensure that they don't beat themselves in this game, which means not making mistakes. Good point to bring up.
Execution.
This is where I want to.
Execution, no penalties.
This is where I want to bring up next. The penalties has been kicking our ass. Too many penalties. Every game that we play, we out-penalize the other team, whether we're home or away. Brandon, and then Pete. what can the Niners do? And try to break it down other than just stop, don't penalize. But what can they do to try to fix this issue?
Honestly, number one, don't get ahead of themselves, and two,
Okay.
play clean football. That's my main two things right there. Play clean football without getting any penalties. Right? No, like Travarius Ward, for example. None of that holding or PI stuff. Like, because Mooney Ward's been struggling, man. He's getting a lot of penalties called on him, so that needs to change for sure. Clean up that act. Um, what else? I mean, it's just the little things that they need to clean up, and they'll be all right. And with playing a division rival on Thursday, we have Seattle's number right now, so I think we'll be okay. I don't think we'll get that many penalties like we have been for the past couple weeks. As long as they play clean football, man, we could just get a nice dub, enjoy some turkey breasts on the Seattle logo, and call it a great Thanksgiving.
I'm telling you, man. It's but the good thing that Brock Purdy has won there already, so he's familiar with that crowd. He's familiar with that environment, so that's a plus.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add to that? To the comment that Brandon just said, Mr. Pete.
Yeah, I mean, it just really comes down to execution and really coaching with Kyle. And I agree to a point with Brandon about the issues in the secondary, but at the same time, there was a couple of those calls that are just brutal, and there was nothing that Mooney Ward could do, and like they were going to call it, period. Like you see it every week, and the league doesn't like defense. And teams know this, so they're just going to throw the ball up and see if they can get a penalty. That's what's going to happen, and the 49ers have to be ready for that. Like now, with that being said, on the offensive side, they've just got to execute. Like Kyle loves to do all these bells and whistles and motions and all these different things. Okay, well, it has to be executed to perfection, otherwise you're going to get penalized. So I mean, I don't expect him to simplify anything, but at the same time, they've got to execute cleanly, and the plays got to be run right. The offensive line can't be getting ahead and getting illegal procedures and all the other stuff. Like they just can't. They can't start in a hole, because what that does is that kills the running game. There was during the losing streak, they were averaging like less than 20 carries a game because they were just put in holes because of penalties, holding penalties, illegal procedure penalties. Like it was just execution stuff. So it's all about execution to me.
Agreed. What about you, Beto?
Absolutely, guys. Look at me. I'm so excited. I got my little voice back. I'm fired up, guys. I am so fired up to have David Villa in the chat. What's up, David Villa?
We're going to kick the heck out of those Seahawks.
All right, enough of that little voice things. Welcome, David Villa, to the chat. Welcome. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Yeah, so this game is going to be fun. It's going to be 3 games on Thursday. 9:30 is the first game. I think it's Detroit taking on the Bears, if I'm not mistaken. And then it's the Packers and Vikings, or Cowboys and Commanders. And then it's going to be the Niners at Seattle. It's going to be fun to watch this game on Thanksgiving, having Thanksgiving with the family, enjoying the families together and enjoying football. I can't wait for this game. Pete, is this a must-win game, in your opinion? We want to win it, of course, but do you think it's a must-win game? Because they are one game behind us, and they're no longer tied because of the loss to the Rams. Mm-hmm. Do the Niners need to take advantage of this and keep one step above the Seahawks?
I think it's absolutely a must-win, just because they have to keep pace, not just with the Seahawks, but they have to keep pace with the Eagles. They can't they can't get any more behind. Like, they still have a chance to when they play the Eagles to catch up record wise. So I mean, the Eagles probably are going to lose at least one more game, and then the 49ers play them as well. They've got a couple of must wins in my opinion in order to set themselves up for the playoffs. And it's going to be, but this key specifically division wise is key. Like they cannot get one game ahead and then lose that advantage. Like so yeah, I definitely think that this is a must win.
And I'm going to ask Brandon the same question. I also want to agree it is a must win, not only because, like you said, we want to keep up with the Eagles, but in my opinion, I'm definitely keeping an eye out on the Lions. Everybody wants a bye. I understand, but I want to play 2 home games instead of 1. If we went up in the 3rd spot, we're going to have, as a division champion, we win our division, we'll get a home game. But if you're in spot number 2 at the worst case scenario, you're going to have 2 home games instead of 1 before you have to go over to Philly and play Philly. And if Philly loses by any means, it happens, then we can host the championship in Levi. So to me, it's catching up and taking advantage of the Lions more than the Eagles. And if the Eagles stumble more and we get that, great. But my eyes are more on the Lions than the Eagles right now. Brandon, what's your thoughts? Is this a must-win game for you?
Yes, it is. For one,
and why?
It's because it's a divisional matchup. For one, okay. And 2, we gotta like you guys said, we gotta stay up with Philly and Detroit. If we can't get that 1 seed, we at least gotta get that 2 seed. So we continue to keep grinding and winning games. We'll be all right. We'll be all right for sure. Mind you, we play Seattle. We play Seattle Thursday, Philly, and then Seattle again. So it's a tough 3 games. So.
Yeah, and then we move on a little bit, and then we have to face the Ravens on Christmas Day. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. Real quick, Don says, like I was saying before, the husband has not been watching the Raiders at all. I don't blame him. This year, he's been watching Niners. He's a smart man. Who wants to win? Who wants to watch trash play? But I'm just messing on with the Raiders. Hey, he could be worse. He could have been a Cowboys fan. Definitely. Chris says there's gonna be stupid flags on the Niners bucket. Yeah, I hear you. I don't want it, but I hear you, man. It sucks. And hey, on a note, the Rams have swept Seattle. Isn't it funny in the West, guys, that Seattle always has the Niners number, but the Niners have the Rams number, and the Rams have Seattle's number? How it works. And then the only one that are stupid that has nobody's number is the Arizona Cardinals. They're like the retarded kid in the corner that nobody pays attention to. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to offend anyone. If I shouldn't have said that. I take that back. But you guys know what I meant. Brandon, bail me out here because I just put myself in doo-doo. What's your thoughts on anything? Who's that? What's the name of your cat? I'm drowning over here.
Freaking, I don't know if my friend's cat.
Stupid me, man.
Well,
I apologize if I offended anybody.
Here's my question to you guys. Who's your guys' X factor going to Thursday's game on offense and defense?
Ask the question again. I'm sorry.
Who's your X factor going into Thursday night, offense and defense?
Okay.
X factor, I'd say George Kittle. Kittle on offense, and then on defense, I'm gonna go. On defense, I'm gonna go. It's got to be. It's got to be Dre Greenlaw.
Okay.
Just with the run game.
I like it. I like it. And for me, I'm really looking forward to seeing Deebo Samuel having a big game against Seattle. He usually does. I want Deebo Samuel to step up. He did great against the Bucs, but I want Deebo Samuel to step up, and I think he will. So that's my X factor. Deebo Samuel offensively. And on defense, it's going to be Chase Young. I think Chase Young will get 2 sacks in this game. He will bring the pressure. So defensively, it's going to be Chase Young. Offensively, it's going to be Deebo Samuel. What about you, Brandon?
For me, it's going to be. I'm going to say Brandon Ayuk has another big game on Thursday, and defense. I'm going to say Nick Bosa has 2 sacks and a strip sack fumble.
Oh, look at you. I like it. I like it. So, okay, as we finish the live, because we're past an hour a little bit, game predictions. Peter, what's your game prediction, and how many points did the Niners win by?
I think the 49ers win this game. I'm going to say 21-10.
21-10. Wow. Oh, I love it. I love it. What about you, Brandon? What's your score prediction?
I'll say 31-17.
31-17. So we get back into the 30s against this game. Okay, for me, I'm looking at let's see here. Their corners are pretty good. I'm going to say it's going to be 24-17. It's going to be a little closer than when people want it to be, but we get the victory, 24-17 Niners. People in the chat, please feel free to give your predictions as well, and I'll look at them later on, and we'll do a game later. Maybe next Tuesday, we'll talk about our predictions on the show as well. I'm gonna just to let you guys know before we go, we're gonna make this show really, really funner than it has been. We're gonna do giveaways. We're gonna do predictions. We're going to do little categories. And I'm going to get my boy Peter and Brandon involved. We're going to go head to head. We're going to try to make it as entertaining as possible, as much as informational as well about the team. So make sure you're not only subscribed to my channel, but make sure to go over to Pete channel, Niner Fanatic Podcast, and subscribe to his channel. On YouTube, make sure to go over to Brandon's channel, Forever Faithful Podcast, subscribe to their channel, because we are always going on all platforms. Support us as we bring you entertainment, as we bring you information. Please just return the love by supporting our channels and hitting the like button. It doesn't matter where you watch the live, but go to each of the channels and hit the like button, because the like buttons allows us to go out there on YouTube to share our videos with other Niner fans so that we can grow. With that, anything going on your channel, Pete, into next Tuesday? What do you have going on?
So I'm going to do a pregame before the game, and then and then an instant reaction show like right after the game. So tune in for that. Niner Fanatic Podcast. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm on Facebook. I'm anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. I don't care where you get it. Just get it.
I love it. Okay, Brandon, put in your information. Next week, we're going to have everything in the description properly. But for today, Brandon, what do you have going on, and how can they get a hold of you?
So I'm probably going to do a pregame show with the guys, Christian and Dion. Sometime this week. I'm not sure. Probably after Thanksgiving, or actually a post-game show, I should say, not pre-game, because we play Thursday. But we're also on YouTube. We're on X. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. It's all spelled out for Faithful Podcast. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and follow us on all platforms. We're also on audio too. You can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all the good stuff where you listen to your audio podcasts while you're in the car driving to work or going home, stuck in traffic, whatever. We're on there. So make sure you guys go follow that stuff.
Awesome. Real quick, before we go, do you have about another 2 or 3 minutes, Peter?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Brandon, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we say goodnight, I'm going to be giving away another of all gas, no brakes patch to a lucky winner tonight as our way of saying thank you for being viewers on our podcast. Everyone, pick a number between 1 and 100. Everybody in the chat, pick a number between 1 and 100 for the opportunity to win an all gas, no brakes patch tonight. So in the comments, real quick, try to make this as quickly as we can. Pick a number. Do not duplicate. Brandon, if you see a duplicate number, please let us know so that they can pick up another number. But there's only like 13 right now, so it's going to be hard to duplicate. But pick a number between 1 and 100, and then we're going to pick the random number. If we pick your number or you're the closest to the number, you'll have an opportunity. Not an opportunity. You will win this patch tonight. That's our way of saying thank you for watching our channel. No numbers. Nobody. Should I change the patch? Okay, here we go. Here they go. Here we go. We got 77. Laura. Daniel Cantu has 39. We got Ronnie says 13 for Brock. We got David with 57. Dre Greenlaw. We got the old Ronnie Lott, 42 from Dina. We got the Warner, number 54 for Don. Anyone else? Anyone else for this beautiful patch? There's quite a few in here. And there's only a few numbers. Anybody else? If not, one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people are going to have the opportunity to win this patch tonight. And I will send that out to first thing tomorrow. Once you provide me the information that I need to get it out to you. 1, 2. All right. So it seems like there's just 6 of you. Good luck to all 6 of you. Let me see if this works. Alexa.
If not, I'll do it again.
Hey, Alexa, pick a number. Hold on. Maybe I got to. If not, yeah. Let me try to see if it works. If not, we'll have you do it. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 100.
Good evening, NSP. Here's a number between 1 and 100. It's 25.
25. You guys hear that? 25
Yep.
is the lucky winner. So who is closest to 25?
It is Rodney Brown.
With 13. And look it. He won with the Brock Purdy number. I gotta love it. I gotta love it. There you go, Ronnie. Hey, congratulations. Send me an email, Ronnie, to Niner Sickness Podcast. Oh no. Is it Niner Sickness Podcast? God, you know what? Give yours, bro. I have so many emails that some of them are not working. I gotta fix that together. Give yours, Brandon, and you can pass it to me.
All right. Send it to foreverfaithful49@gmail.com. And it's Forever Faithful with 2 I's in faithful. All lowercase.
So Forever Faithful podcast. What's the number?
49.
Okay, so Forever
The
Faithful
number
49 with
49.
2 I's
Yep.
at Gmail. Make sure to send it
Here, I'll
to
put it
Brandon.
in the chat. Hold on.
All right. This way you guys can do it, and we'll be more prepared next week. Real quick, as we're waiting for that, Pete, what are you doing for Thanksgiving, my friend? If you can share.
I mean, we
Okay,
eating
there we go. We got
all
it.
day. All day.
Plain and simple,
And
baby.
then-
I love that answer.
Yeah, we eating all day, and then we eating sea chicken later on in the day. Like I mean,
For
I'll
dessert,
mix
right?
them up with my leftovers. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
be
we're
having them
having-
with my leftovers.
I
And
love
then
it.
we're gonna do a show celebrating the victory after.
There you go.
I love
You
it.
should
I
get
love it. You sent it to me where?
It's in the comment section.
It hasn't popped up. But anyway, Brandon, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Real quick.
Spending it with family, going to my grandparents' on my dad's side in the afternoon, and then my aunts in the evening on my mom's side, and watching the Niners destroy the Seahawks. So yeah,
49
eating
at
awesome, awesome food.
Gmail. 2 eyes for faithful?
Yep, 2 eyes for faithful.
You know, that's not how you spell it, right?
I know, but it was already taken.
Okay, just making sure. So I put it on there. Tell me if that's correct, Brandon.
Yep.
I spelled it Faiful.
You forgot the TH, brother.
TH. Forever faithful.
Faith. You put faithful.
Oh, well, that's the way you spell faithful.
No.
Yeah.
I put 2 eyes and then
And it's TH. So you spell it faithful. Okay, you spell it different. Got it. Let me fix it real quick, guys. We'll get it together.
here, let me try to.
Real quick, and we'll call it a night because this is getting late, especially where my boy Pete is from. He's 2 hours ahead of us, and he has to be at work tomorrow, so I want to take consideration of his time. Brian Young, welcome for coming in, brother. Welcome. Hit that like button. Make sure to hit that like button on everybody's channel. Let me fix it again real quick, and we'll get out of here with a smile. Forever faithful.
There, try that.
49
There,
at.
I
Is it
have it.
There it is. I don't know how you sent it the first time, but.
I don't know either. I don't know what happened.
Oh, wow. Okay. Got it. There it is, guys. There it is. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We took a little bit longer than usual. We go for an hour, not an hour and 20 minutes. My apologies to Pete because I do try to consider him. He's 2 hours ahead of me. And I do appreciate Pete a lot. Now we have Brandon joining the gang here on our channel. Make sure to follow us every Tuesday as we go live at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to bring you football information, to bring you entertainment. We're going to be doing a lot of great things amongst us three. We're going to do giveaways. Good night. God bless. Enjoy your family for Thanksgiving, and let's kick the out of the Seahawks come Thursday. Until then, we are out of here. Good night, guys.
Late.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,